Just what did the committee do in its Week 12 top 25 college football playoff rankings? Let's instantly react to what we have learned following another week of games and 7 teams that were idle, moving up, moving down, and 6 teams taking losses, and yet the top 25 looks about the same. What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. This is your first time watching Adapt and Respond. Thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If you're into that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. What is your biggest beef? Your biggest what about these top 25 rankings that we have? We'll go through them pretty quickly, and I'll remind you we're going to do a live show here just a little bit later on, go a little bit more in depth, spend a little bit more time, and maybe even take some of your questions about what it is that we've learned from this committee and what it is they value, because I'm not quite sure. Like, one of the things that I think they needed to start doing was ranking a group of 5 team, group of 6 team. I include Pac-12 as a group of 6 team. Next year's state conference coming online. But for now, okay, group of 5. Putting South Florida in this spot is interesting only because James Madison hasn't taken a loss in conference play. And James Madison feels like it's going to be playing another team that has been damn near elite in conference play in Southern Miss for the Sun Belt title, and they don't seem to care much about that, let alone what San Diego State and Boise State, UNLV are doing, Hawaii's doing in the Mountain West. They only seem to care what the American is doing. And South Florida has got those wins, right? Miami spanked that ass, but they don't seem to care. Like, I'm not quite sure that this was the move to make, but I am glad to see a group of 6 team represented here. South Florida holding on that spot. We'll see about that. I think North Texas is the best team in the group of 6 right now, and I understand they took the loss to South Florida, and that might be the reason why you want to rank them. Okay, cool. They still got 3 weeks left to go to settle that one, but that one's kind of off the top. Then you got Pitt at 22, where Pat Narduzzi's come out and said he doesn't really care much about this Notre Dame game, which I thought was a wild thing to say, but he's got a point, meaning that's not an ACC team. Why the hell should I care? If we win the next 2 after this, we're playing for the ACC championship, and we win the ACC championship, we can play for a national championship. He's right, and this is where the Notre Dame part of this is really starting to piss people off, and they're saying the quiet part out loud, like I have been for the past 10 years. We let Notre Dame act like a GDI where everybody else has had to pledge. Like, I don't understand why we continue to do that. We should make them pick a conference. If it's the ACC, great. If it's the Big Ten, great. I don't really care. Join the SEC. Who cares? I just want you to have to play the same sort of schedule that the rest of us have to play. I mean, Joey McGuire went out of his way to say he really respected BYU for joining the conference because they could have played an independent schedule forever and maybe done what Notre Dame did, but they got to play Texas Tech. They had to play them on the road. They took that spanking. And he doesn't understand why we let teams like Notre Dame play in the same sandbox, which has everything to do with money. That's what it has to do with. Louisville getting to stay in this thing after getting I wouldn't say railroaded. That's too bad. They were a 19-point favorite against Cal, and they lost that game. I'm not going to rank a team that loses to Cal like that. Virginia getting to stay here. Iowa getting to stay here. My goodness. This committee loves them some Iowa football. Not quite sure why. Because they played Oregon close and they played Indiana close. Who's Iowa's best win? I don't get that part. Virginia at 19. I'm not quite sure that that's the move either. Get Chandler Morris was not in that Wake Forest game, but Wake Forest turns out to be not a bad football team. Michigan at number 18. We're lying in wait. They win their next 2. They beat Ohio State. They're getting into the college football playoff. USC has a lot of statistics going their way, putting up 300 yards passing, 200 yards rushing. The only team that has done that since 2023. The only team in the Big Ten that's done that since 2013. And this is the first time the SC has done that since 2005. But again, you got the losses, and the losses matter. Georgia Tech getting to stay here at 16. Miami at 15. That's the highest ranked ACC team. I don't understand. They take the loss to Southern Methodist. They get beat by Louisville. And you rank not only Louisville behind Miami, but you don't seem to care much about SMU at all. Whatever, man. I don't really think that Miami is this good. And I don't know that beating up on Syracuse shows me much, because when they had to go play other people that we thought were good or not even good, like SMU, they just lay an egg. And the Mario Cristobal of it all, him screwing up with his game time decision, still there. Vanderbilt's at 14. Utah's at 13. BYU's down 5 spots after getting beat down, we got to say it, by 22 to Texas Tech, but that feels a little bit unfair. Oklahoma's at 11 after being idle. Texas is 10 after being idle. And this is where we know the teams that are getting in, right? Texas being the last, like, at-large team that gets in. Notre Dame at 9. I hope Pitt can do something about this weekend, because if not, Notre Dame's just going to walk into another 10-2 season and probably steal one of these at-large bids. Now, Oregon's up a spot, Alpha beating Iowa. It's pretty good. So Ole Miss, finally, somebody saw that they beat up on the Citadel and not an SEC team, and Texas Tech beat on a Big 12 team that was previously undefeated, and they flipped them. I didn't think that Texas Tech was doing that much because I saw the loss they took, and the loss that Ole Miss took is to Georgia, but I understand. There's an argument for Texas Tech being one of the 5 best teams in the country. If they can score in the red zone, they might be. Georgia at number 5, Alabama at number 4. Somebody's mad at A&M is still here at 3, and Indiana's at 2 with Ohio State at 1, but I'm not. I think that A&M, all they got to do is keep doing is what Indiana and Ohio State have been doing. We keep winning. If you win every game, who the hell cares if you're the number 1 ranked team in the country? I mean, even Ohio State fans be the first to tell you, we would rather some disrespect. Like honestly, we everybody that you know about, we get to our Super Saiyan Blue when people disrespect us. That's how this works. We don't get to Super Saiyan Blue because Bulma's decided that we her man now, right? We don't get there unless we get somebody trying to challenge us every step of the way and say we're not as good as we would like to be. Texas Tech's thing about being challenged this year is you paid for your roster. And you're like, so? You trying to hide the money. There's poor people out, y'all. That's what Texas Tech is doing. I applied thought. Run with that. Be that person. Be the Texas oil money. That is a known trope. It's a good trope, and it's one we've been using since we first discovered the mid-con. Like, I don't understand why more people don't lean into the landman of it all. I mean, if you've been paying attention, both SMU and Texas Christian have been Southern Methodist, Texas Christian been in the college football playoff for Wisconsin to USC. Hello? You think that's got anything to do with the money that's poured into the private school that is Methodist and the private school that is Christian? I can't with y'all. I can't with y'all. And if you look at all these teams that are ranked in the top 10, it's all teams with money. Texas Tech is new money, but they got money. Georgia, money. Bama, money. A&M, all the money. Ohio State, all the money. Indiana, have you seen our list of alumni? They were waiting for a Kurt Signetti type to show up so they could throw money at the problem. That's what everybody wants to do. And if you poor, maybe you shouldn't be playing big-time college football, and that's okay. That's fine. It's not for everybody. Not everybody gets to play in the big boy sandbox. But for the time being, this is what you got to work with. So either get your weight up or get to stepping.